Greetings, Earthlings. Peace and love.
We haven't been on here in a minute, y'all. But we decided to get back on, be more consistent, because we just been some busy folks.
Traveling from via hotel somewhere in the middle of nowhere.
That's what we're doing right now. We are out and about working. Working. Anyway, what y'all been up to? Like, comment. Tell me what's been going on in y'all's life. And everything. But anyway, so we wanted to start these videos again.
The first one's about love, okay?
Love.
God's love. What is God's love?
Yeah.
How are you supposed to love? We're going to battle here because that's what happens when male and female stand up nowadays. You know. But she has her ideals of what God's love is. We say that that's the ultimate height you can reach on earth is to learn how to love like God loves.
Yeah, because God is love.
So the question though is, what is God's love?
So this is what I think, y'all. Like, I don't think we, in human form, can even imagine how great God's love is. Like, we only can think of it the way we can think of it because we're these spiritual beings in this body, on this earth. And I don't think we can really imagine how great God's love is or what it even looks like. I think all we get is like a glimpse on this earth. Like, we think we know how great God's love is. But that's just what I think.
Well, I believe that love is an interesting thing, right? You sacrifice when you love.
Right.
They have a such thing as selfless. It's an act of selflessness, right? So, like we was talking about earlier, God's love for you. There's a car accident. Someone bangs your car up. You survive, but 2 other people behind you die. So you feel blessed and you feel like God loves you, but what about the other 2 people? Because God spared you, is that God's love? Or your experiences, your heart, there's such thing as we call tough love. That's still a version. To me, everything is love. All experiences that come at you are to shape you into a more refined person, to understand that these adversities aren't here to make you suffer. So there's a love involved in your adversity. Your growth comes from that, from
Right.
even God, the Creator, taking this time out to work with you and throw you a adverse situation that causes you to grow. You find that being love as well.
Yeah.
So love to me, it encompasses everything, However, there's different energies. You like to say that love is the highest of high.
Because I always say God is love. So I just think that's just the ultimate. That's just the ultimate, And if we're to be like God, or we're so quick to say, "Oh, we're gods," and stuff like that. But I'm like, what is that about? Like, are you saying it because you want some type of power or something like that? When really the only thing you're supposed to be controlling is yourself. Like, gods of what? You're gods of yourself. If you're gonna call yourself a god, And I, to each his own. I'm not, saying anything about that. I'm just saying the only thing you should be trying to rule and put in check is yourself. I mean, what?
No, I'm just saying, like, yeah, I don't think that personally, I don't feel like there's no way that you can escape being under God's, I don't want to say love, but when you really flip it around, it all of it is to refine you and make you love something, learn to love. Like when you're a child, you start out, you love everybody at the playground. You get a few bad kids, who don't, who want to hit somebody upside the head or throw sand on somebody's face in the sandbox. You get those kids, but ultimately, kids don't have that discriminatory energy, but we grow and we learn to discriminate and we learn to try to gauge love and how we're going to love. But ultimately, when you get older, I feel like you return back to that love, like these experiences you have. They peel off layers of bullshit.
Beep. We're gonna beat that out.
My bad. I done messed the video up, y'all.
We have no cussing on
BS.
There you go.
Yeah, but anyway, for me, love. Sometimes you gotta love yourself. Sometimes you gotta walk away from things that cause you to be violent towards yourself. Sometimes you gotta get in the fire and burn yourself up for love. There's so many different aspects of it that it's just constantly shaping and molding you, teaching you that it's a double-edged sword.
Right.
You can walk away from someone because you love yourself, or you can stick with someone
because you love them.
That ain't no good for you.
It's no good for you.
You can tear yourself up, but you can learn the unconditional love versus having the what's that, expectation love.
But okay, so let's stay right there for a second. Unconditional love, does that truly exist? Because we say unconditional love means that no matter what a person may bring you or how a person is, you're going to love them regardless. But isn't that a condition within itself? I mean, if you say, okay, I'm going to take you just as you are, that's a condition within itself.
I don't know.
You don't know? I don't know. I might be thinking too hard.
Love, no. I mean, I just think unconditional love is, I don't know, like you can walk away from someone and still love them.
And sometimes that's the best form of love.
I think unconditional love is loving people when they don't love themselves. Even when they don't love themselves. And they just...
Okay, I can
and they can be,
on that.
you can get caught in the crossfire, like trying to help somebody in a relationship, give somebody advice, and you end up fighting with them.
Right, and that was not the intention. The intention was to help.
Yeah, and that's kind of like unconditional love for them when they can't see themselves and how they fighting and being destructive, and violent verbally towards each other, and you try to give some advice, even though you're gonna get it's gonna come back on you somehow. Somebody's going to say something, but that's a form of unconditional love when someone needs to hear what you have to say because they lost in their own sauce, darkness or whatever, and you say it anyway, and you end up getting burned.
Right.
That's really like loving someone and being selfless.
Right.
Because some people ain't doing all that.
And I think you're right when you say sometimes you have to love yourself enough and love them enough to walk away. Because I think that's even if we're going to talk about relationships, any kind of relationship, your friendship, your love relationships, family, sometimes you can love somebody so much and love yourself enough that it's, that although you love each other, your situation may have you toxic, right? You may be toxic in your communication and stuff like that. And because you love them, you're like, you know what, let me love you enough and love me enough to remove myself before somebody gets hurt. And I'm not talking physical, because you can hurt. I feel like the worst hurt is through your mouth, But I feel like sometimes you just have to say, let me just remove myself from this before I say something that I can never take back, and it's going to hurt you and it's going to hurt me. So let's just, let me love you from a distance,
So is love and forgiveness the same thing?
Ooh. So that's a good question. I think forgiveness could be a form of love or could be up under the umbrella of love. But with that being said, I don't think forgiveness is
Let me give you a
you.
scenario.
Mm,
Someone's son gets murdered.
mm-hmm,
The murderer is at trial,
mm-hmm,
and the victim's mother forgives the murderer.
mm-hmm.
What is that? Is that love? Did she come to a place with love within herself to understand this whole process down here? Is that is that God's love? Are we supposed to grow to that level in love?
You know what? That's a deep. All I can think about it is like if that happened to one of our kids, right? And we're in court and somebody is the murderer is there. How I would take that. I understand that that person also has a past. That person, um, that person could have been beaten by their parent or have some type of trauma that caused them to be how they are. And maybe the part of you that is the guard part of you that's going to yield to that thinks about that, but in reality I don't know. It would take time for me.
That's a high level.
Yeah, it would really take some time for me. You talk about
God's love. You talking about that's a very high level of forgiveness, and you really have to be into a great place of understanding and letting go and being selfless and really understanding the process of life and death. And I believe that that's where wisdom from age comes from, to be able to forgive someone on that level.
I'm not even sure if it's age, babe. I think you can be older, and not be able to, because I hear them say all the time, forgiveness is for you. It's not for them. I don't know. Like, truly, I cannot tell you. If it happened to one, I would probably be so angry that it would take everything for me to keep my hands from jumping over and trying to, hurt them while I'm in the courthouse. So I can't say. But with that said, I can't say that years later that I won't come to a place to where I could forgive. I just know at that moment, like I'm being real with you. I just don't think it would be that easy for me.
Let's hear in y'all comments what y'all think about that. Is forgiveness a high form of love?
Whew.
Self-love. And could you forgive someone who done something like that, maybe have taken your child's life? The kind of love it would take within yourself to forgive someone like that. Now, I'm not telling you right now, I ain't there yet. I'm gonna have to go back to the Old Testament on that one.
I would be laying hands on, all right. So I guess that just says that, as long as we're here on this earth, you have to grow. But even with that, does that mean, because just because you may forgive somebody or forgive that act does not mean that you are ready to have a relationship with them or say, oh, it's okay, and this whole kumbaya, and I'm gonna come visit you in jail and all that kind of stuff because we're in a different. No. Like,
the thing about a situation like that is God is really, really speaking to you. You talking about a personal conversation with God in a situation like that. Mm-hmm. Sometimes I look at those things as blessings. Sometimes, like, not that particular act, but when something very traumatic happens to you and you come through it, there's a language that's being spoken, an unseen language where God's directly communicating with you. To me, that's a blessing. When God shows that much value in you to bring a situation to you to shape your consciousness, you know what I'm saying? To shape your heart, to try to take that hardened heart and crack into it. A lot of us got parents that have very hard hearts that didn't really get a chance to really experience love, who was in survival mode their whole life.
Right.
And those sometimes they got to get sick for them to start opening up. Like, something has to come at them NDE, near death experience, to get people to learn how to love. Like, that's a deep level. So I would like to say that when you are forced to grow, when you forged by the fire to grow in that level, that is God really calling you to do something on the planet. Because when you download, we could call that Christ or God's love, whatever, when you embody love at that level, you definitely become an agent of change on this planet. Now, has anyone there? You might catch the old lady at the church, or the old lady, taking a walk by the lake. They might be there on that level, but it's really,
I've seen some court cases where I've seen families who have said, I forgive you, I forgive you for doing this or whatever. And then I've seen in that same group of family, I saw it on YouTube actually, one or two of them say, no, I don't forgive you. But I think it makes me feel like the ones who did say it needed to do that in order for them to start the healing process. They had to release it so that they can start healing it, because as long as they held on to it, it would start eating away from the inside. And all they would be doing is suppressing what they really felt, I guess. So they just had to just release it.
Yeah, and the interesting thing about love and the heart, they go hand in hand. And I always thought that for myself. I always thought that heart disease, heart attack, that those things come from your inability to love. Like these physical ailments that make your heart get sick. In most cases, like, I'm not going to say no names, but I know that some people who had heart problems, it was synonymous with them not accepting love or being able to love from whatever happened to them. And it's almost like a purging when you begin to go through your sickness. It's like you're not using your heart muscle right or something like that. Like you're not loving right. So you start going through this process of getting sick, because your heart has to grow. Just like your soul, your consciousness, your heart has to evolve too. You can't stay with that hard heart. Like I feel like that when you have a physical ailment and it's dealing with the heart, you need to not only eat right, but you need to check yourself and your relationships and the things that you're holding on to that's stopping you from growing, that's stopping you from having a cohesive marriage, a cohesive father-son relationship, mother-daughter relationship, brother-sister, aunt, uncle, whatever it is. You need to check yourself if you're having heart problems.
Heart problems.
Yeah, because it's it's heart love.
Heart problems. Now that's something right there. We're not talking physical. I mean, we are talking physical, but we're talking spiritual. You got a heart problem.
And it show up in this world. As you getting sick, I've seen it. Yeah. There's a correlation. So if you at home and you having chest pains, them Alka-Seltzers in that the Tums ain't working and they keep coming back, it could be you need to let some love into your life. Accept some love, you know what I mean?
And that's it right there. Accept love, because sometimes if we've been traumatized by bad relationships and whatever from whomever it was, we get to the point to where, oh my God, you just hit me with that, and it just went into the atmosphere. So I hate when that happens, y'all. When I'm thinking about something so deep and it just leaves, and either that or I'm just getting old. I got a little taste of dementia.
You ain't pay for your data.
I ain't pay for my data.
You out of data. Let me call AT&T.
Y'all, so it is, what's today? The 3rd? It's the 2nd. So it's December 2nd right now. On November 30th, I turned 55. When I tell you, the way my mind is going, I'm going to be having to get with that Omega, what do you call it? Omega, what is the Omega 3?
B12.
Omega 3, B12. because this right here,
Well, that's what happened when you're 50. You just start
you
forgetting
start
stuff.
forgetting
Sometimes you go
everything.
grocery shopping and go to the store, don't get what you went there to get.
Listen, have y'all ever gone upstairs or gone in the other rooms like, now what in the world did I come in here for? That's so much. So I guess I had to start loving on myself a little bit more. Anyway, yeah, we just wanted to come in and talk to y'all about love.
All them love songs. We ain't making love songs no more neither.
Oof.
We twerking and smashing it. That's it. No
That's
more
right.
love songs. See, back in the day, we had real love. And see, the old school folks can see the love leaving. Prince dying, Frankie Beverly. You know, that frequency is dissipating. Hold on to your love. Like Sade, hold on to your love.
I challenge the younger generation. I challenge y'all to go within yourself and write some love songs. Write love songs, and it doesn't have to be like to a girl, to a boy. I mean love. Like, come from a different place, come from a different space within, which is gonna cause you to do some work, because you might not know what that really is. But I challenge you to do that. I would love to see what the younger people's
and comment below.
Comment.
Let's see what y'all think about that. The love and could you handle something happening to one of your children or even a friend? Can you forgive the perpetrator? Has your love grown to a place where you overstand the world from a place of unconditional love and unconditional forgiveness? Because they run hand in hand.
Yeah, they run hand in hand, and that forgiveness it's a hard. It can be a hard thing to do.
Yes,
it
is.
Can be a hard thing to do.
That's a whole nother video. Forgiveness.
Oh yes,
I got some things I ain't let go from kindergarten.
Yeah,
you think I forgot? When I see you, it's on. Like, no.
It's on sight. It's on sight. That's funny. All right, good people. I guess we'll check you on the rebound. We're gonna try to maybe 1 or 2 videos a week. I don't know. We just play around with it and see what happens. Just keep tuning in. How about that? Smash that like button. Smash that like button. Comment. Share. Because we trying to do something up in here. As Southern Northern. Southern Northern. All right, y'all.
All right. Peace
we'll talk
and
to you
love,
guys
good
later.
people.
Bye.